So do I think Destiny is a pedophile? It entirely comes down to how charitable you want to be towards him.
Oh, yeah, yes. The answer is yes. Jesus Christ. How many clips do you need of the guy? Yeah, absolutely. He's a sex criminal, you know, by definition, if he is literally sending child sexual abuse material, receiving child sexual abuse material, as well as sending sexual material of other people without those people's consent to a child. Yeah, these are sex crimes. Like, this goes beyond, like, so what do you think about the drama, right?
In my last video, I broke allegations on Destiny where in my DMs he admitted to having CSAM on his computer.
So, hey, I just want to be completely clear. I'm not a supporter of the Willie Mac show, Willie Sloptube 5000. What happened was basically Willie and his particular brand of YouTube drama videos, they've done very well. He has, you know, he's got a good presentation style, very addictive editing and all that kind of stuff. So it's no surprise to me that basically doing coverage of Hasanabi being like Hassan bad and kind of, you know, making videos that have good production value did make his channel explode and skyrocket. So he became one of the bigger names in YouTube drama, aka people who just cover other YouTubers and things surrounding them. But a lot of people were kind of I guess understandably pissed off when he was covering or lacking in his coverage of Destiny, or when Destiny was revealed by numerous women and accused of filming them without their consent, of taking the film, like the recordings of them having, you know, engaged in sex acts and then sharing those with third parties without their consent. Sex crimes, involved in sex crimes, being like, well, his coverage of this is very different. It almost seems like he's sweeping for him, aka trying to cover up what Destiny did or downplay the severity of it. It seems like someone, like a lot of people, I think, who were basically fans of or in Destiny's orbit, just can't quit the guy for whatever reason, until, you know, it came out that Destiny had been sexting a minor, allegedly, and the person that he'd been sexting, that was a minor, was the person that he'd also been sending that sexual material to. So this is just, again, you've reached a point where if you're not willing to let this guy go, or admit that he's a fucking pedophile, or just be like, this is fucked up. I can love his debates. I love his debate style. He's the debate lord of the internet. No one can debate like he can debate, but the fact that he's actively messaging children and sending them sexual material or receiving sexual material from them and trying to meet up with them, and also the leaked logs between him and the minor show that, you know, Destiny was trying to involve or engage in age play, which if you're having to do age play with someone who's already a minor, like Jesus fucking Christ, or seeing the things where, you know, that person was like, I don't know if my parents will let me go out, I don't know if we can meet up because my parents are very strict, that kind of shit, where you're like, even if your defense right now by Destiny is effectively that he didn't know, or that he had asked if this person was 18, so it's totally fine. I thought they were 18. It's like, nah, that's not how this works. I don't think from a criminal standpoint, I can't speak on Florida law, but I'm pretty sure that you know, that doesn't fly. But also that you were completely comfortable being someone in their, what, like mid-30s, trying to have a sexual relationship with a 18, possibly 17-year-old, and then wanting them to pretend to be younger than that at the same, like, dude is fucked up. Dude is incredibly fucked up. And then the same content producer, Willie Mac show, releases a video where he says that he's actually called the police on Destiny, records himself calling the police because he had evidence that Destiny, in fact, had CSAM on his computer, as in child sexual abuse material that Destiny had received from this 17-year-old codename Rose. And so this is his follow-up to the entire thing, saying, I have proof that Destiny lied about her age, and a lawyer says it's all over.
Of a 17-year-old named Rose. Hands down the most shocking interaction I've had on YouTube since things have hit the fan, with Destiny and Ethan going full scorched earth, digging up old Reddit posts, going after family members. Destiny has made a video saying that Rose's age still hasn't been confirmed, and Abba and Preach uploaded a video echoing those same claims, even though it's not true. Look, I brought these allegations into this world, and now that everyone's responded, I want to set the record straight. So when Destiny's court case with Pixie is over, he could respond to his most damning accusations in one place. Because nobody, including me, is hoping Destiny has illegal CSAM in his computer, but the receipts against him are ugly and they need to be addressed. Him deflecting to Roses and complaining about him having nudes of her doesn't make it legal.
I'm like the only person in the history of the internet who's people are trying to cancel based on no person making any claims against me.
Destiny's first stream back since the allegation.
Wait, what are you talking about? There's so many people who made claims against you. Prior to the entire Dr. Destiny shit, where it actually got revealed that he'd been sexting a minor, there was multiple women who were accusing you of recording them without their consent. That's so fucked up. That alone should have been the moment, I think, where like a lot of people who are still either Destiny orbiters or Destiny fans or whatever that may be, start to jump ship. and be like, yeah, this dude's fucked up. You can't be someone who pretends to be like, well, I'm a liberal. I'm also someone who actually advocates occasionally, not all the time. Sometimes I definitely do a lot of rape apologia, but I occasionally talk about, you know, being a feminist or wanting to stand up for women's rights or stuff like that. Well, at the same time, you've been accused by over 4 women of having either recorded them without their consent or shared recordings of them that you got consensually with a third party without their consent. Again, sex crimes. And that would have been the moment I would assume a lot of people would have been like, oh, this dude is a massive ass creep and sex criminal. I don't want anything to do with him anymore. But then it got to this next phase where it's like, it turns out one of the people he had been sending that stuff to was a minor, and one of the people that he had been also sexting and trying to have an encounter with in the IRL was underage.
Went live against him was to play the pedophile song as his stream opening.
Haters get bent. What the f*** age of consent? Because age is just a number. Jail's just a place. Bitch, I'm a pedophile! Every time I make a vid,
that's so fucked up.
His Reddit.
Like, that's the final boss of just rolling with the memes. I've seen, like, he has been posting a lot of pedophile memes and just being like, fine. And then when he was battling with Ethan Klein, he was doing this entire thing where they were going back and forth, and it was just basically, oh, okay, well, apparently you are not okay with pedophiles, but your dad's a pedophile. And then it's like, I'm not an Ethan Klein defender. Fuck that guy. But that wasn't anything to do with Ethan Klein. He doesn't control what his father did prior to his own birth. And that's not the same as you actively being a pedophile or admitting to being a pedophile. You realize that, right?
Is talking about how he's liking posts on Instagram of little girls being his new girlfriend. Destiny always has the best optics. I know everybody's a little stressed. I know everyone's a little tense, but let's just take a deep breath, look at the facts, and use our sensibilities. And it's made that much easier with Fume. That's the good stuff. Ever feel like you're stuck in a
Oh my god. I don't know if this brand is completely comfortable with being on this video. Did they approve this? Yes, we'd like to offer you a sponsorship, Willie Mac. Oh, cool. Yeah, for our new vapes. Neat, neat. All right, so you got a video coming up. They're very popular videos. So you're going to be talking about Hasanabi, Ethan Klein, one of those big names on the internet. Destiny. Okay, well, what you going to be talking about? Well, not really Vape Nation related, but you know, I'm sure we could find a way to work these two into something plausible here.
Honestly engaged, he just immediately tries to assassinate my character. It's very clear why I went to the police. It's because he sent me a screenshot of what he described as videos of a 17-year-old having sex with other guys. His words. I didn't want to misunderstand him, so I asked very clearly, is the video he just described what he was sending me? He responded, depends why you're asking. Which could very obviously be a joke, but it also implies under the right circumstance, he could have sent this to me. And then he said yes, confirming that he still has it. When I said that it's crazy that he was telling me that he has CSAM on his computer, he doesn't deny it. Instead, he gives reasons for why he's allowed to keep it. On stream, he said he was sharing this stuff with other people to try and find her.
Oh, yeah, because I have screenshots of, yeah, we tried to do identification for some of these videos.
Okay, he says he's analyzing these videos.
So Rose, the person who's confirmed now to be 17 years old, it's fine, it was fun. Other than that, I'll see if I can salvage any of the recordings my boyfriend made for you. I didn't notice until way later, but the videos she'd record with other guys. The file names are like, and here's the file name. Her boyfriend was recording these on Skype call. That's just absolutely insane to think about him doing all of that when she was 17. What does this absolve you of? How is this just like, hey, by the way, everybody, just so you know, I know that I've been accused of sexting a minor and, you know, trying to have a sexual relationship with someone who's underage and potentially sending that person, you know, sexual material of my own, again, sending it to someone who is a minor. But here is evidence of that same person having sex with other guys. So here you go. And it's like, right, this is CSAM then. Why do you have this? What does this absolve you of? Why are you sending... You're doing the thing again! Why are you sending this to Willie Mac? What? What? You're sending him stuff that the people involved probably didn't consent to being sent, and it's underage sexual material! Like, what the fuck? You did it again. I guess Willie Mac is now, what, the 5th, 6th, 7th person to have received unsolicited sexual material that was filmed or was received and was not consensually sent to that other party, like Jesus Christ.
As in multiple videos, but these videos are CSAM.
I tried to find her through her boyfriend as well, because I have screenshots of when she would record stuff. She literally has a lot of these were done via Skype calls with her boyfriend, which I didn't really figure at the time.
How much more clear could it be that this guy has CSAM on his computer? But fast forward a little bit and he's tweeting, I have no CSAM on my computer, and saying he would have worded things differently if he knew I would have a problem with it.
I just don't know why you talked to Willie Mac at all. I don't remember. I think he messaged me on something, but I mean, I'd been in communication with him. I just didn't expect him to run and make a YouTube video in 2 seconds based off some DMs with us. Obviously, I would have approached that conversation with a lot more care in terms of how I'm phrasing things, obviously, but...
Instead of yes to keeping CSAM, would you have said no? Because that would obviously change a lot. Like your entire statement. He's literally rewriting history in front of our very eyes. Because saying yes would be a crime.
Especially when I have every reason to believe this person is 19 anyway, so...
No, he doesn't have every reason to believe that, especially since Rose's boyfriend Solo told him in November of 2024 that she was...
Okay, well, got the evidence. So the boyfriend, hey Destiny, please read this fully and give me a response. Let's talk on stream. However, yours, other people's, about the leaks, you can use this as a response to the leaks or just have people grill me and similar to what I happened with Sunday and you yesterday, I don't mind. The whole thing has been so boring because of the omega levels of sweeping by a bunch of these other people, so I feel this is the only way to find value in this at this point. Otherwise, I will be leaking the full DMs, including all the images and videos shared from you to Rose and the information about Rose's age in full Twitter DMs in which you were negligent in verifying age even after you joked about her looking so young that you would need ID to make sure she was really even 18. Let me know if this works for you. I'm glad to leave certain things out of the conversation if you'd like to tell me what you want to avoid. I assume Lauren thing and more stuff that I've told you about hasn't leaked. Let's set this up.
For that she was 17. Now, to be fair to Destiny, it's not like Solo is a good guy here. The whole reason why all this drama started happening with Destiny is because Solo...
No one's saying that. No one cares. I have no fucking idea who this is, right? Like, that's not important to me. This is not a massive influencer on the internet who's effectively been trying to destroy any leftists online who want to speak up about Palestinian emancipation, who want to criticize the Democratic Party, who want to say things like, hey, by the way, I think that the treatment of black people by the police is excessive and something that needs to be reined in. Perhaps we should be talking about abolition, and then all of a sudden, because you say that, you become a fucking target. Or even if you talk up about the genocide of indigenous people and having Destiny just come after you or try to partner with Lauren fucking Southern of all people. Like, this guy has been a menace to tons of different people and activists online for a very long time, while at the same time clearly using his power as a content producer to effectively be either trying to have sex with people who are fans of his or who watch him or who know of him. And in this case, he happened to be doing it with someone who is underage. And yeah, while at the same time, he was taking advantage of his orbiters, people who had been big fans and big defenders of Destiny, who he then had sexual experiences with, and then unbeknownst to them, allegedly according to their testimony, they had been recorded without their consent or knowledge, and then he had taken those recordings of their sexual experiences and then shared them with third parties, and it turns out one of those third parties was underage. So, like, you know, okay, this weird, I've seen this defense coming from, like, the Destiny reply guys and fans and the Dalaban and DGG and stuff like that, where they're like, Destiny didn't know that she was under 18, so, like, he's not at fault for that. And also, why is no one pointing the finger at the other people involved? Why was she trying to talk to someone when she knew she was underage? Why was her boyfriend completely comfortable with everything that was happening? I don't know. I can't speak to that, but I don't give a fuck. That has nothing to do with the story as it is. Sure, those people could be bad, but they're also teenagers. They're fucking teenagers. They're teenagers dealing with a 30-plus fucking super famous streamer, multimillionaire on the internet. Like, why am I going to sit there and be like, you're right. We do have to take a step back and actually get into the psychosis of what made these teenagers want to even interact with Destiny in the first place, and whether or not that was appropriate. Maybe they are the ones at fault here, right?
Logged into Rose's Discord account and shared all of the messages between her and Destiny. This is how we found out Destiny was non-consensually sharing his nudes of previous partners to a random e-girl. But we only know about it because Solo shared all of this revenge porn online. Him doing this has led to a ton of people around Destiny getting doxxed. All of this comes from Solo, and his main motivation reason for doing it is because he was bored. This guy sucks. But this guy doing these awful things has opened Destiny up to valid criticism. I've already made 2 videos talking about the Pixie situation. Go check that out. If Destiny is upset that this is being brought up again, he should have never shared those videos with some random girl over the internet that he didn't even know the age of. Responsibility lands on him. He's tweeting the 60GB screenshot was related to a claim the Rose person made, someone whose name and birthday have yet to be reliably confirmed.
But this is not the 60GB CP folder or whatever.
And he shows why he knows there's a 60GB drive of Rose's underage videos.
If you have the size, you should have it on your PC. It's just a screenshot that she sent me of the folder. I mean, I could post the screenshot of what she told me. If someone ever hacks mine and my boyfriend's cloud storage, they will find a treasure trove. I swear I have 310 folders of photo sets. Total size, 61.15 gigabytes.
But the context of her sending Destiny this is that she would send him those videos that her boyfriend recorded. She told him, I'll see if I can salvage any of these recordings my boyfriend made for you. Destiny then sent me a screenshot of a video he has open and describes it as an underage video Rose sent him. Her boyfriend was recording these on Skype calls. That's absolutely insane to think about him doing all of this if she was 17. He's describing and acknowledging that he has CP. I blatantly asked him and he answers yes, giving reasons why he could keep it on his computer. When he pulls it up on screen, he acknowledges that this is CSAM that solo recorded of her.
Because I have screenshots of when she would record stuff, she literally has, a lot of these were done via Skype calls with her boyfriend, which I didn't really figure at the time, but we tried to find out who the boyfriend was based on initials and stuff from here too. But this is not the 60GB CP folder or whatever.
Nah, it's just 1 GB of CP. He's lying when he's saying this is an uncharitable reading. These are very direct questions and he's giving very direct answers. Yet his viewers cope en masse. But he didn't do that. Are you really going to be this dishonest? Somebody directly shows him that he did say yes to having CP, and then it becomes, well, he was just making general statements. It's not general at all. It's actually very specific statements. Destiny viewers, these DMs are your emperor has no clothes moment, and you are choosing to be blind. Hold them to a higher standard. As far as Rose's age goes, it has been confirmed since August 20th. This is due to Destiny posting information about her college to mock Kiwi Farm's failed attempts to dox her. Well, they found her and she's wearing Destiny's merch, same girl from the Twitter account. They found her name listed among college peers. They found the same girl living in the same town because of this local news clip, and her birthday is October of 2004. This is confirmed again with a traffic violation, and she's the only person with that name in that town, and she fits that exact description, meaning that when Destiny was sending and receiving material from her, she was underage. The video that Destiny showed me he still has is titled with the date of August 14th, 2022, meaning she was 17 in that video.
The thing I still don't understand about all this is how have the authorities not become involved at this point? Because like this is an overwhelming amount of evidence that it seems like the internet has done their sleuthing, uncovered, tied together to the point where it's gotten to like, oh my god, yeah, now it's almost becoming irrefutable as to what took place here, and isn't this a crime? Like a massive crime? Like, isn't this one of those things where, you know, the police are now going to be investigating? Like, Destiny's not a nobody. This is one of the biggest political streamers in the history of the genre, who now, there again, is pretty conclusive evidence, had been sexting and receiving and sending sexual material to a minor. That you would think there would be more to this then. I'm also really surprised, to be completely honest with you, that like neither YouTube, Discord, any of these major platforms is taking any kind of accountability or even releasing statements about any of this. I guess like when it comes to YouTube, they genuinely don't care. Like they seem to have been fine with the Dr. Disrespect stuff. They let him get back. Well, they even demonetized him though. They did something. Right? I guess maybe because that story was in the Rolling Stones and it made a lot of headlines and a lot of people were talking about it, and then he went into this entire weird like Dr. Disrespect, I'm the villain arc kind of thing. And at this one, like it seems like Destiny's doing the same thing, where he's now being like, fine, I'm the pedophile. I'll be the pedophile if that's what you want, but my fans don't care, so I am now invincible. And I guess like that's true. If that's the standard, if like your own fan base is completely fine with still being, you know, devoted fans to you and watching you and wanting to, you know, be engaged in your political takes, even though they now fully know that you are a pedophile, then yeah, I mean, what more could someone do, right? Like what more could someone reveal about Destiny post this that he did it again. Like, once again he did it. Like, I know when it came to abusing women, a lot of people were completely fine with just being like, well, I mean, that's just one person who's accusing him. It's like, it's actually 2 women, including one of them being his ex-wife. Now it's 3 women. Now it's 4 women. Now it's 5 different women have accused him of this. This is really bad, right? Like, these are women who are saying that he's either sending their sexual material without their consent, a sex crime, or recording them without their consent, a sex crime. But again, no real big developing stories about this. My biggest concern would be for younger audiences who still kind of like love watching this shit or get into the Destiny orbit because they're like, you know, obsessed young men, especially with the debate sphere. Like, what is this going to be doing in terms of, like, you know, you want to talk about radicalization? There's now going to be a very large percentage of people who still are completely fine with you know, hailing this guy as a hero, or they're like debate lord online, or someone who they think is like really great in their like political takes and stuff like that, who is also actively potentially a danger to minors.
That is illegal CSAM. Upon telling him that she's a minor, no reason to think the dox is wrong, Destiny doesn't go, oh, I better turn this over to authorities. He replies with why he thinks he should still keep it. He doesn't even know for a fact. I don't think I'm allowed to delete it. I don't know if it counts as hiding or destroying evidence. I'm pretty sure I have an obligation to preserve this stuff. This is not someone who's confident they're doing the right thing. Destiny says he could keep it because of his court case with Pixie.
Now he spends time going through this Rose person who supposedly Kiwi Farms has dug up stuff about. I haven't been able to verify the authenticity. Nobody close to me has been able to verify the authenticity.
Literally anybody can verify its authenticity right now. But Abba and Preach blindly repeat Destiny.
You could say Destiny's irresponsible. You could say a lot of things, but first off, the person's age hasn't been confirmed.
False. Just because you're too lazy to look doesn't mean that.
Secondly, you guys are all admitting that Destiny didn't know the person's age at the time until years later. And that's only...
That doesn't make it okay. Please tell me, you realize that. Oh, well, actually, I thought she was 18 at the time when I was a guy in my mid-30s sending her sexual material of which I didn't have the consent of the people I was sending it to. Some call that revenge porn, right? But either way, while I was doing that, it turned out that she was actually underage and a child and a teenager and not legal. But, hey, I didn't know, so I'm absolved of my crimes, right? Does that stand up in any respect in the United States? Is this just like an American thing? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, you can't just tell a judge, I didn't know that was illegal. Oh, you didn't know. Oh, sorry. I thought this was a case where you knew. Like, you knew the law. You didn't know that this was a crime. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're absolved. You didn't know, obviously. I mean, you can't be held responsible. Like, are you supposed to look up? Like, have you seen how big the rule of law is in the United States? There's so many laws, just weird ones, right? There's old-timey ones that we don't even really follow anymore. Yeah, no, you're fine. You're free.
The alleged age.
If somebody tells you that you have nudes of an alleged minor, are you going to keep them? What kind of commentary is this? This is crazy.
If you don't see why him having a court case where this is relevant and his lawyer tells him not to delete it doesn't matter, like, I don't know. I think you guys are a bit lost.
Rose's nudes are not related to his court case. His court case is about him sharing Pixie's nudes with Rose.
In Hawaii and a bunch of states, he's fine, unfortunately. Yeah, but I mean, it's still going to be based on Florida law, and based on what people have been posting about this, my understanding is that no, it's not legal for a man in his 30s to be having or attempting to share sexual material with a minor.
Solo informed him that Rose might be a minor 2 months before any court case started. Abba and Preach blindly agree that, yeah, Destiny's lawyer would have told him to keep CSAM for his legal case. What is your source? I haven't seen one lawyer covering this that agrees with that.
This person was factually underage. Therefore, this is factually CSAM.
Whoa, you lost legal mindset. No way. This guy, the one who's got a channel for people to travel to other countries to be able to have like fucking be sex pats and be passport bros. The passport bro guy is calling you out. If you've lost the passport bro guy, oh, shit is fucked.
Completely changes the dynamic from something the lawyer might not have to report because he doesn't know one way or another to something he'd say, well, now we've got to talk about this. Now we've got to disclose this to the court. I'm just saying and presenting out there, as always, professionally, hey, here's the attack, here's the defense, right? And it doesn't look good for Destiny. This does not look good. This is in addition to
you lost the passport, bro.
That is purely civil to something that is now potentially criminal.
Napoleon Feezer says 17, that's illegal, but hardly CP. It's child. You cannot have pictures of minors. It doesn't matter if the age of consent is 16, like here in Ohio. You could a 16-year-old. You can't have naked pictures of them. If they're under 18, no, you're done. And he says, I don't think I'm allowed to delete it. I don't know if it counts as hiding or destroying evidence. So here's the deal. Notice what Destiny isn't telling you. My attorney told me to do this. Because I guarantee you he hasn't told his attorney, hey, I've got child pornography kicking around on my computer. What do I do about that? There's a discovery demand and he has to turn that over. Pixie can't hold on to it. Like I said, Pixie, her attorneys, no, you like child pornography is like Chernobyl graphite, you guys. You can't touch it. How does discovery happen? Well, it'll happen with what Pixie and Destiny have done or other things Destiny has done. But the child porn, that doesn't need to be in there. You can do everything else. Did Destiny send Pixie's pictures out without permission? That's all we're really worried about right now.
So what research, what lawyers did Abba and Preach go to before spouting off all of this? They cited nothing and then just declared that I'm in the wrong. The video ends in such a bizarre way.
You can say he's irresponsible. You can say that's stupid. You can say maybe he should turn it in, but to make that video and make it seem like it's something it's not.
What do you mean by maybe he should turn it in? Bro, it's CSAM. He has to turn it in. What a shocking video. Abba claims Destiny already reported this to authorities.
What are we talking about? There's an ongoing legal matter. He submitted this evidence to authorities.
No, he didn't. Destiny said he was going to on behalf of Pixie and then stopped when she decided to sue him.
Are you going to report it to the FBI? Maybe when I was doing work with a New York law firm, the goal was initially, because the packet that we put together was a thing that we were, I don't remember if I said it or not. The original packet was going to the DOJ. That was the goal of that originally, because I thought that the stuff that the solo guy, even if the girl isn't underage, was criminal in behavior, 1,000,000,000%. Goal initially was to send it all to the DOJ and then have them try to pursue it there.
But as far as I know, he never followed through with this. Everyone, including professionals, is saying there's no shot he told his lawyer that this was CSAM. So to me, it clearly seems like he's lying.
If you want to interpret my messages,
What does the AM stand for? Abuse material, child sexual abuse material.
in the worst way possible, and you want to, and that's going to be the basis for some FBI call.
I know Destiny, because
Like there's a multi-purpose use between changing people constantly calling it things like child porn and calling it what it is, which is abuse material. Children can't consent to a sex act, and also it's going to basically conflate the use and production of pornography, what sex workers do, which is legitimate work, and you know they should have respect, versus people who are engaged in abusing children, which is completely separate and shouldn't be something that is related to material that's supposed to arouse you.
I was grifting a little early on this. He streamed it and he was saying, oh, Willie Mac misread what I was saying. I'm like, there's no miscalculation there. And like, if you were that incorrect in your words and you're not that stupid, Destiny's pretty eloquent when he needs to be. Yeah. How do you accidentally say, I got more cheese pizza than Papa John's? I was starting to have a bit of a panic attack. Like, he's laying out, I've got it. And this idea that I have to save it.
So I said if Destiny wants to prove people wrong, he should get a public statement of his lawyer explaining this. He is not currently in a court case over Rose's material. It would be such an easy win to clear things up. But no, he writes it off as an impossibility.
I think he should probably get on stream with his legal counsel and have them explain why having alleged CP since November is okay in this instance and legal. I've not seen one lawyer agree with this. I don't know how retarded you have to be to think that any lawyer would ever agree to do this.
Companies have lawyers write up statements for them all the time, and if he went to the police, he should show a report. If he just does either of these things, he's in the clear. So why doesn't he just do them? He skipped the entire point of H3's video. The majority of it he dodged. He won't even provide the quote-unquote good faith interpretations of the messages he sent. I've seen Destiny when he's in the right. He usually directly
He skipped over that entire part of the video. Wow, that's sus.
confronts it and brings receipts. Here he's just constantly deflecting. He's like, look at all of these edgy pedo jokes Ethan made in the past.
We went around from channel to channel, like around, like it was just horrible shit. We went to this channel with this kid was like 8 years old, and he was broing out with everybody in this chat. And for whatever reason, this kid decides to take his pants off and wiggle his 8-year-old dick on screen. I can't even believe it.
I haven't gotten into Ethan's jokes yet, but I do think it's kind of funny that I feel like I've heard him say similar things.
It's called Children's Joy TV for a reason. The guy knows how to give pleasure to children.
Yeah, you're both gross. There's no question about that. The thing is, what you've done is also criminal by definition, right? Like, Ethan has been making gross pedophile jokes. I think Ethan and like his history here is what you hope was where you were at. where it's just like, I'll admit, when I was in the past, I made a lot of edgy jokes, a lot of edgy humor. Part of that was I was really big into making jokes about being a pedophile, okay? And that's just, you know, that was the thing. But a lot of people, to my credit, were like that back then, okay? And now people, apparently in society, is deemed like that shit's kind of weird and gross, and so a lot less people do that kind of shit, and they're not really as into it as they used to be. That's where I think you probably want to be in terms of like what the fuck is going on here, where it's just like, you're accused of trying to have sexed a minor, send that minor sexual material, and receive sexual material from that minor. Those are all crimes. What he does is fucking gross, right? What you've done is criminal.
Children's Joy TV, baby gets anal raped by a syringe and gets injected with AIDS virus.
When we see something like this, are we supposed to call the police?
Am I on a, I feel like I'm definitely on the FBI watch list now.
Yeah.
I don't know how many FBI watch list jokes he's made. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But if like that's the standard, then sure.
Bro, you watched a real video of an 8-year-old shake.
Also, when it comes to all this, you know, Destiny versus Ethan Klein, you know what I say.
Let them fight.
His dick. These are not the same. Also, I would look at some of Ethan's old edgy jokes a bit differently if he admitted to having CSAM to another content creator. But he didn't, you did, and now people are raising eyebrows.
Midnight Nile Night. The H3 DGG war is escalating. We're about to reach the War of the One Ring, then the Great Spice War, then the War of the Five Kings version for dumbass shitheads when gross freaks with their jobs. Well, here's the thing. This didn't destroy his career. Right? I mean, I guess it didn't destroy Dr. Disrespect's career. Dr. Disrespect is kind of the template where you can both be exposed to someone who is attracted to minors, who's tried to have a sexual relationship with minors, who's been sexting minors, who's actually been caught doing that, who lost a lot of his fucking credibility. And you know, that would have been back in the day in certain fields an enormous, colossal fall from grace. And then you just come back with this weird villain arc where you're just kind of like, hey, you know, a lot of people were saying a lot of fucked up shit, but all I gotta say is like none of you really know the full story kind of thing. And you're just like, he's still got thousands of people who watch him, thousands of people who give him money. So
Ethan points out how Destiny defending Vosh for getting off to Lolly feels creepier now.
Who the f cares about Lolly? Who cares about drawn? Imagine your life is so boring that you give a f about animated cartoon girls.
Imagine your life so boring that you care about sexualizing children. Imagine being so bored in your life that you actually care if grown-ups want to f minors.
Destiny doesn't really engage. He doesn't defend his position. Instead, he goes after Ethan for laughing at Rick and Morty smut.
Rick and Morty?
Okay. No way. That's Rick and Morty? No.
Yeah, this is from an episode of Rick and Morty where Mr. Mises runs train on
I can't believe this battle is like the battle of who was the bigger pedophile. That's honestly, that's the state of the internet right now, you know? 2025. This is one of the biggest channels. This is one of the other biggest channels. They're doing the Spider-Man, you're the pedo. No, you're the pedo. No, you're the pedo. You're more of a pedo. Well, you're an actual pedo. Right, but your dad was an actual pedo. Okay, but that doesn't mean that I'm an actual pedo.
No.
Mr. Mises and all of his buddies run train on April.
He's not Jewish, I can see.
So he is. Now, okay. Do I actually think he's getting off to lolicon or that he enjoys this despite that creepy fucking smile he has while sharing his pornographic hentai with his parents? Probably not. But like, if this is the standard we're going to use, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Obviously, laughing at the absurdity of degenerate stuff is not the same as getting off to it, but Destiny's not here to make sense. He's here to go scorched earth. He plays a bunch of clips of Ethan making fun of cringe and creepy videos online, leaves out all of the context. Both of these guys definitely make their share of inappropriate pedo jokes, but with Destiny, it's just different. His are coming from leaked group chats.
He then shared this lewd image of a child with his friends and said that he's gonna get arrested someday.
Imagine receiving a bikini pic from a 15-year-old in your DMs, a fan of yours, and being like, she's so hot. I need to share this with the boys.
His friend asks pics, please. And Destiny sends what was a public Instagram photo of her in a bikini and goes, girl on the left. So hard to say no. I'm gonna get arrested in one of these MLGs, man. His friend replies, who cares? It's not like you're 40. Destiny tries to recontextualize this as him warning his friends to watch out for jailbait.
Yeah, I messaged my little team or whatever. Obviously, those DMs were pretty crass, but I mean, the whole point is like, hey, like there are gonna be people that DM you, they'll send you pictures, they look older than they actually are, don't f minor, your life is gonna be over, don't do it.
But these logs are public.
But then you did it? Was that the conclusion? Well, I mean, to be completely clear, alleged, you know, he's alleged to have been sexting and trying to meet up with a minor and sending sexual material and receiving sexual material from a minor. But even then,
you can see that they were just gooning. There's no speech about being...
Yeah, I know. And also, like, none of that's good. If you're like, yeah, I was sexually attracted to a picture of a 15-year-old, and that you know, but I never did anything about it, and you know, it was just so hard not to do anything about it, you know, back in the day when all that happened.
Careful for jailbait. It's about them banging porn stars and stuff. These messages are real. Destiny has confirmed it.
Should be. You don't need screenshots. There should be a paste bin of the entire conversation.
Now I don't want to give a whole lot of credence to this because Destiny did not hook up with a 15-year-old. As one of his friends said, it's not worth it. I do raise my eyebrows though that one of their reasons to not do it is because they're inexperienced in bed. Destiny's saying this is a group chat conversation to warn people about the dangers of jailbait. It's just a lie. They're just exchanging sex stories. You can be as good faith or bad faith as you want with this stuff. At one point, Ethan plays a clip of Destiny saying that 19-year-olds might as well be children to him. And I think Ethan completely misunderstands this clip. It's Destiny saying people should not hook up with 19-year-olds because they are basically still children to him.
I'm 29. A 19-year-old might as well be a 15-year-old to me. It's all the fucking same, dude. Don't give me this fucking...
That's such an interesting
This is exactly what we're saying.
Because it's all the same, bro. 15, 13, 14, 15. It's all the same, bro. I'm 29. Also, on the other hand, it also is a self-report because it suggests he knows exactly what he's doing.
If you listen to the actual debate here, I'm arguing with a dude who is literally trying to abduct a mentally retarded 19-year-old and take her to another state and impregnate her. Basically, every other time I'm speaking about this person and their age, I do refer to the fact they're 19, but it's not just the fact they're 19, it's a whole bunch of other things too.
Yes, Destiny did have this debate, but at this point in the stream, Destiny was just generally speaking to his audience. He even goes on to say that his 20-year-old viewers don't realize how young they are.
Now, I know if you're 20 years old, it might bother you to hear that. Like, no, I'm 19. I'm a real adult, okay? I'm a real adult, okay? If your mom and dad, if you live with your mom and dad still pay all of your bills, you've never even had a job before,
I also want to add that, like, I know he's playing this in his defense, as in, like, oh, no, I was able to distinguish the difference, and I know what's right from what's wrong. And it's like, in this clip, you realize that you are actually condemning the behavior that you then committed years later. If you're like, hey, by the way, I think people who are very young, they're not grown adults. They're not mature, all right? They haven't been fully mature yet. Even if you happen to be 20. I'm sorry, you want to hear that? If you're 20, if you're 19, if you're 18, if you're 17, because the person who was, you know, the person was 17 at the end of the day. But if you're trying to say this is wrong because you're not mature enough, or this is wrong because you simply haven't lived enough, or this is wrong because you still live with your parents or something like that, okay. But then what happened to Destiny, what, like 10 years later from this, when you were 10 years older?
never lived on your own, you're a child. You're very much a child. You don't know what it's like to wake up and go into work, to work a job you hate because you have to pay a bill, okay? You don't know what it's like to have to make a decision between getting kind of a cool car and a piece of shit car because you can't afford it. You don't know what it's like to get called in to have to work an extra fucking shift because you don't, right? You don't have any life experience. You don't know anything about anything. You're a child. So all the people in chat that are like, no, 19 years old, that's an adult. That's an adult. Dog. No. No.
So when it comes out that he's sexting Rose when he's 33, it's like, what the hell? Rose, even when Destiny thought she was 19, fit all of this criteria. All he does is deflect. What about Solo? What about Ethan's meme Reddit account? What about Ethan's dad dating his mom at 21 when she was only 16? Really? You're gonna bring family into this when your own kid is saying crazy stuff about you on the internet? This drama is so scorched earth. Destiny's audience made this.
It's not drama. These are sex crimes. This is criminal behavior. That's the other part of all of this, right? Like, I know, this drama sure is spicy. Can you believe it? Back in the day, Destiny actually said this about 21-year-olds, saying that they're actually pretty young. He considers 19-year-olds to be a child. And then later in the drama, he was actually sexting a 17-year-old, sending that 17-year-old unconsensual sexual material, and then receiving CSAM from her back. So he actually got CSAM on his computer. That's wild. What drama. What an incredible drama.
Graphic to make fun of how Hassan never never engages with criticism. This perfectly applies to Destiny right now. Hide. He hides behind the fact that some of the details come from Kiwi Farms, when it just doesn't matter. Verified information is still verified information no matter where it comes from.
I'm not gonna sit here and listen to him fucking opine on all of the on his theories here.
Alter. He lies about the substance of the messages, claiming he never admitted to keeping CSAM even though it's in text. Straw man. Make fun of me for documenting talking to the police. Try and act like Ethan's a hypocrite for making edgy jokes when the situation is not the same, and it certainly doesn't alleviate him from what he's done wrong. Avoid. He hinges on small details to avoid the actual allegations, like how he doesn't have all 60 gigabytes of CSAM, when the concerning part is that he does have at least some of that CSAM.
Like, there's a whole bunch of like weird lies that came out of the Willie Mac video. People were saying like, I have 60 gigabyte folders. I'm like, this is not true. It's like an obvious misreading of a message that Willie Mac is showing on stream.
And then finally, name call. Meme your way out of it. Act like none of this is a big deal. Destiny knew that if Rose turned out to be underage, it would be a big deal. Even saying, if Rose was legit a minor, I'm probably done. I can sweep and meme through basically anything, even though some of it is really shitty.
Well, seems like he's still trying. And there's a certain percentage of the fan base that is still just basically like, yeah, sure. I mean, he might be a pedophile and he might be trying to meme about being a pedophile. And these are pretty serious sex crimes. And he probably should be on a sex registry list or in jail. That's all true. But at the end of the day, he's still our, like, you know, meme lord. He still debates Thinny. And we're still GGG. And we gotta keep on supporting him.
He's doing the Donald Trump, I could get away with murder.
They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of 50.
Yeah, but see, this is the problem, broadly speaking, if you want to, like, extend this with what people describe as rape culture. Like, this, you are witnessing it right here. Like, this is the, like, if the president of the United States, the person in the highest possible office in charge of the biggest military in the world, can be best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, can be accused of being a pedophile, accused of being a rapist by over 20 women, have an unbelievable amount of evidence of being not only tied to Jeffrey Epstein, one of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein being recruited, you know, in his masseuse parlor when she was working as a minor, to writing letters in which he is basically all but confirming the two of them are pedophiles, and they share that together. It's just like the guiltiest man in the fucking world is a fucking pedophile president who's covering up the Epstein files. And then it's like, well, hey, look, this entire same kind of ordeal, the reflection being done by a world famous streamer who just got a CNN profile, who's supposed to be this fucking debate lord of the liberals or whatever the fuck. It turns out that he too is apparently someone who's not only a pedophile but is endangering minors, who's sending minors unsolicited sexual material, who's receiving sexual material from minors, who is then attacking every single woman who comes after him, to be able to state, by the way, that they were actually survivors of him committing sex crimes against them, filming them without his consent, without their consent, sharing the material of them being filmed without their consent with third parties, people sweeping for the entire operation until things get so bad. Like, you realize how bad things had to get before we get a Willie Mac video like this, right? How many things he had to do. Like, who is the only remaining people? Like Dan Saltman, his streaming partner, the owner of Redact.dev, the button that fucking Ethan Klein has is like sitting right behind him at all times. But otherwise, yeah, the majority of the orbiters, with a couple of exceptions, have basically been like, yeah, I probably just won't mention him anymore. I won't talk about him. If they're not actively trying to be like, yeah, I'm going to report on this because this guy who I thought was like supposed to be a feminist or a good person or a Democrat or a stand-up liberal, it turns out he is a massive fucking sex criminal.
Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
So I think there's three ways this situation went down here. One is that Destiny really didn't believe Solo when he said Rose was 17. He kept the picture and logged.
That's what I get furious when guys say not all men. I say back to them, yeah, no one is saying that in the other. If a woman comes forward and she's like, this guy raped me, or this guy abused me, or this guy filmed me without my consent, or this guy sent my filming, like the recordings he took of me without my consent, to someone else, or something like that. If someone comes forward to say that, they're not saying every man does this. Like, if you hear that and that's your first knee-jerk reaction, you're part of the problem. Like, if you hear that, the instant thing should be, wow, that guy is a monster and we should call him out. We, being men as well, the non-fucking sexual and sex criminal men, or the non-sexual abuser men, should probably be like, yeah, that's fucked up, because it is fucked up. In the same way you would want that in the opposite direction. If a guy comes forward and he's like, I just got abused by this woman, do you think a woman who hears that, did you hear that same response where she's just like, well, hashtag not all women, all right? So you may have been with a bad one, but there are women who are good who do not abuse men. So just so you know, this is not, you know, really fair for you to be saying that this is all women. Like, your first response would be, I never said that. I said that this woman was terrible to me. She physically abused me. She sexually abused me. She manipulated me. I've been trying to fucking unpack all these horrors and atrocities that I've had to endure. Like, that's fucked up, right? Well, I do want to validate your feelings because I know you're pretty upset right now, allegedly. But I just want to say, not all women, all right? Because not every woman does it. Like, wouldn't your response be like, what the fuck are you talking? I'm not saying all women. I'm saying this woman. And fuck her, right? Well, you know, we have to be careful about where we or how we say this because, you know, hashtag the sisterhood, hashtag not all women. So before we go out and just throwing wild accusations anywhere, we should acknowledge that first. I want to prioritize that over your statements, over what happened to you.
Just in case he got into legal trouble over the leaks, which he did with Pixie. And then when Rose was doxxed, confirming she was 17, Destiny was more focused on how Solo would be in the wrong than himself, sharing with me that he still has the material. When I was obviously unhappy with him, asking why he still has CP on his computer, Destiny spoke out of his ass, making up that his lawyer told him to keep it, and why he now keeps saying that Rose's age hasn't been confirmed when it clearly has been. And then when I went public, he panicked and called me a liar, changing his story, saying I'm being bad faith, because otherwise he'd be admitting to a felony. This would be good because that means Destiny isn't a pedophile and he just mishandled this whole thing. It is a messy situation for sure. Option 2 is Destiny handled everything perfectly, and to prove it, all he would need is a statement from his lawyer saying that he acted accordingly while holding on to the CSAM. Nobody thinks this is possible, including other legal professionals, but if it is, Destiny should do it. I will delete my video and apologize if it is true. Or option 3, he's a creep. It would really explain his take on Dr. Disrespect, who was planning on meeting up with a minor.
If some 17-year-old girl is DMing Dr. Disrespect, she's like, hey, we should go to kind of. Dr. Disrespect's like, yeah, I'm gonna whatever. I probably shouldn't do it. She's young, that's stupid, but I just don't really give a that much. I think it's retarded. I don't think anybody actually cares. I don't give a
what a surprise.
Want to do it, knock yourself out. I don't care. At this point, I just don't give a about any of that shit.
Nickelodeon girls!
I want to end this video by touching on a few things. If you're a Destiny fan, stop saying that 17 isn't a child. It's really weird, and trust me, I don't think Destiny appreciates that as a defense right now. People have been critical of me for making a video after reporting Destiny to the police. He absolutely torched me for this.
But the fact that you would then publish a video on it, again, I don't want to dive into the intricacies of all this, but you must understand that by doing that, you are literally undermining every single thing that you're attempting to do. What, like, why the f would you publish a video on that? You must understand how beyond stupid that is. If everything that you were alleging was true, how retarded would that be? Why would you do that?
All of this was done over the internet. Nothing is truly deleted. He's already said he's kept everything in case there's a criminal investigation. He'd literally have to smelt his hard drive. So I don't think I sabotaged any potential investigation, but at the same time, I don't even know if there will be an investigation. That's up to authorities. So I'm also thinking about at what point does the public have the right to know about this? I don't know. I'm definitely open to criticism. I think I handled it how most media outlets would. I'm also just hoping nobody tells me that they have CSAM ever again. Also, I don't know if Destiny will be charged. It's not up to me or Ethan. It's up to the prosecutors for how they want to handle this.
It's really up to prosecutors what they're thinking about, what they go for. That's not in the control of any streamer. It's not in control of Ethan Klein or Hassan or anybody else. It's in the control of the prosecutors to decide, hey, how are we gonna go out?
Can't believe this legal mindset guy keeps popping up. That's of this whole video, that's probably the most fucked up revelation was that the guy who sells courses on how to be a passport bro and has definitely done some of the creepiest ass videos I've ever seen in relation to that, where he's just like, do you want the waifu of your dreams? Are you having trouble meeting women in your home country because of pesky laws and things like that? Well, why don't you travel to all these countries I'm going to recommend where you being a white American will make you go really far in the marketplace for blah blah blah. And you're just like, ew, what the fuck? But even he is like, oh, it's bad. It's really bad. Yeah, he fucked up.
After Destiny, if we go after Destiny, that's up to them.
So do I think Destiny is a pedophile? It entirely comes down to how charitable you want to be towards him. Do you think these clips...
Oh, yeah, yes. The answer is yes. Jesus Christ. How many clips do you need of the guy in the past? You could say that, at best he wasn't a febophile, all right? It's a febophile, actually. A pedophile is someone who is attracted to prepubescent. He was not an offending febophile back in the day. He was simply someone who admitted to it, where he would be like, yeah, I received pictures from someone who was 15 years old, and wow, it was really hard to resist because of how attractive I found them. All right, well, then that's you just admitting it out loud. That's not even controversial. That's him having said that. Those logs are out there for people to see. Not to mention the numerous other clips that are now in the fucking compilation videos where you're just like, Jesus Christ, this guy has so much fucked up shit that he's put into the ether, thinking like any of this was appropriate at any given time. But now, yeah, absolutely, he's a sex criminal, you know, by definition, if he is literally sending child sexual abuse material, and receiving child sexual abuse material, as well as sending sexual material of other people without those people's consent to a child. Yeah, these are sex crimes. Like this goes beyond, like, so what do you think about the drama, right? I think the only aspect of this that you could construe as drama is this fact that, like, him and Ethan Klein, two of the biggest streamers on the internet, are now just doing this fucking circular firing squad of PDF shit, where it's just basically like, hey, come on, Spider-Man meme, it's you who's the pedo. No, it's you who's the pedo. It's you who's the pedo. And to be totally honest, like, when it comes to that, I mean, Ethan Klein is not responsible for his dad being a pedophile, and that's, you know, if you think that's a gotcha, that's incredibly fucked up. Ethan Klein is a disgusting, like, you know, monster who makes non-stop pedophile jokes to the extent that he actually had a secret account, what was, Pedo Defender, and you know, amongst the other fucked up shit, like, yeah, the guy has sexualized on camera a U.S. marathon bombing victim who was a minor, who was making all these fucked up sexual comments about her. He's a disgusting ass monster, but you're a sex criminal. Like, this is sex criminal versus disgusting ass guy who thinks it's appropriate to sexualize children, make sex jokes, and do pedophile fucking humor, whatever the fuck you want to qualify that. It's all fucked, and one of them has potential jail time associated with it. You know? Like, Jesus Christ. Birds of a feather flock together. They're all Spider-Man. I mean, it's all fucking disgusting. Jesus. Like, wow.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This video wouldn't be at all possible without the financial support of all the people whose names you see on the screen right now. And if you want to unlock secret bonus episodes, content that we can't post anywhere else, or get the videos early before anyone else gets to see them, please go on to patreon.com/theserfs. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. Our executive producers are Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Garrett Sandoval, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Boehm, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Tigwig, Trav, and Words Greenwood. And also, it wouldn't be possible without all the names you see on the screen right now. Again, if you want to help produce this content, it's only made possible through the funding of our patrons.